What is Reformation Sunday and why is it important for you and for me? Hello and welcome to Words for Life from Living Word. Glad you've joined us again today. And as I'm taping this, it's October 27th, I think the date is, of 2010, and it's just about Reformation Sunday, which we celebrate on October 31st. October 31st of 1517 is a huge day in the life of us believers in Jesus. On that day, a man named Martin Luther nailed 95 theses, or sentences, to a church door in Wittenberg, Germany. He was protesting the use of indulgences, and he wanted to at least have them debated. Well, the church responded to Luther by first trying to placate him and then trying to threaten him, and eventually they kicked him out. And so October 31st, 1517 has become kind of the birth date of the Lutheran Church, and the Protestant Reformation kind of traces its beginning to that date. Why was their Reformation even needed? Well, unfortunately, over the course of the years, the church allowed false teachings to creep into what it was teaching. It started really gradually, but false teaching is like yeast, it grows. And so once the false teachings got into the church, they kind of took hold of it. So by the mid-1500s, the church was teaching things like priests couldn't get married. The Bible never said that. The church was teaching that you could pray to the saints or to Mary. The scriptures never said that. But probably the worst thing that the church was teaching was that salvation wasn't something that God had done for you. Rather, it was something you had to earn from God. Well, it was into that situation that Martin Luther was born. He was taught the church truths, or what the church said was truth, a better way to put it. And he had a tender conscience, so you put together that thought that you're supposed to earn your salvation by being good with somebody who has a tender conscience, and Luther was a tortured soul. He saw himself as being horrible, and he saw God as being this horrid monster who was expecting and demanding from us something we couldn't give him. But then Luther did something crazy. He actually started to read the Bible. And as he started to read the Bible, he found out that a whole bunch of what the church was teaching wasn't the truth. And most importantly, God convinced him that salvation was something that God did for us. That it wasn't at all something we had to earn from God. Rather, it was a completely free gift from God to us human beings. And Luther says when he found that out, it was as if the gates of heaven had been thrown open for him, that he had been reborn. Now he looked at God and saw a God of love, and a God whom Luther could love. And of course, he wanted to share those thoughts with others. And it was as a part of that sharing of the thoughts with others that the 95 Theses were born and posted on the church door there in Wittenberg. It took Luther a good while, but as he kept studying the Word of God, he gradually began to unlearn the falsehoods that he'd been taught and gradually began to learn the truths that God wanted him to know. Most important among them, the truth that we human beings, you and I, are saved by God's grace alone. God has done absolutely everything necessary for your salvation. 100% completely. It is by grace that you've been saved through faith, and this not from yourself. It's a gift of God, not by works, so that no one can boast. That's Ephesians 2:8 and 9. Luther learned the truth of it, appreciated the truth of it, and thank God, so do you, and so do I. That's what Reformation's all about, and that's worth celebrating. Those are Words for Life. Hope you have a great week.